You're allowed to be here. Okay, wonderful. Um, 2 मिनट के लिए YouTube पे ऑन करते हुए. Wonderful. Let me just. Okay then. Hello everyone and welcome to today's wonderful topic. I normally start sweating around Thursday. What topics now? What topics now? It looks like I seem to have covered every topic on the planet. And yet somebody comes to me with a problem or somebody asks me a question and I say, but we covered this. How come you don't get it? And then I say, okay, if you don't get it, let me cover it once again in another topic, another place. Okay, so today's topic, judgments, and are we being judgmental? Are we being judgmental? Right from the start, just simply killing the topic right away, because I've talked about it many a times that we are here on the planet to experience judgment. Judgment is something that is the most natural form through which we experience duality. And Earth is the place where we have come to experience the duality. So we experience duality, we experience judgment. When the duality starts to fall off, our judgments will automatically reduce. They will begin to reduce as the eyes turn inwards. But just talking about, so once we've let go of the topic itself, now we are free to talk about anything. But we will now continue to explore judgments and how so many times we don't even recognize that we are judging. So the easy way to recognize if you are indeed judging is simply to look at all the adjectives that you use. Any adjective that you use in your day-to-day life, it's a judgment. So the other day, we were talking about, it says, my children are so lazy. And so lazy being a judgment on the children. We'll talk about, the actors a little bit more later. But during the day, I'm like this, he's like that. We are constantly putting people into buckets. We define them, we describe them. Okay, he's a chartered accountant. I have to say, but he must be boring. Okay, so when we talk about certain professions and the kind of people who go into those professions, that's where we start to put them into buckets. So this fellow is like this, that fellow is, he's an artist, he must be something or the other. My father, Mani, was a writer. And so everybody in those days knew that if somebody is a writer, they'll drink, they'll be a big drinker, because that's the only way that they could write. But here it was that Mani was a teetotaler. I drink on his behalf now, but Mani was a teetotaler. And so, and yet one of the best writers of his times. So yet when we think of professions, we want to put them into buckets. We want to put people in buckets. So many times we divide people on the basis of the religion they are. It doesn't matter. But if they are this religion, they must be like that. If they are this community, they must have a special trait. So I was from Rajasthan, but a Brahmin. But everybody I met in my youth, they would say, oh, you're a Marwari. You must be so stingy. Well, Marwari goes with this adjective stingy. So what is it that we do as we put people into buckets? And firstly, why do we put people into buckets at all? What is the need? We have a very limited mind, and we want to use that limited mind to come up with judgments. We want to come up with judgments. Why? Because we want to make it easier for us to deal with the people outside. You see, till the time we are looking outside, we think we need to understand that other person to be able to deal with them. Once we start to look inside, all such requirements vanish. We only have to look within to deal with everybody. Everything happens outside, we have to look within. But when we are looking outside, we don't understand this part, that the whole story is being created from our energy. So we are trying to make sense of the outside world. And how can we make sense of the outside world? Because we meet so many new people. There are so many different kinds of people around us, and we have to interact with them. And so, to make it easy for us, we put them into different buckets. And once we put them in buckets, we've already formed our opinion about who they are, how they are. So from that place of having formed an opinion, now we look at the energy perspective of it. So what happens as soon as we form an opinion about what somebody must be like, God forbid, if that opinion is not favorable, now we're already putting a lot of mistrust into our conversations, into our dealings. Why? Because the opinion that we form.
Riya's just gone to get a few things.
Yeah. So the opinion that we formed is based on some experiences. Well, some glasses that we are wearing, that are looking outside, and then we are putting people into buckets. And then what happens? Again, as I said, as soon as we create an unfavorable impression from something in the past, we think we are trying to give them a chance. The person in front of us right now, in this moment, we know what their background is, we know what their community is, we know what their religion is, and we still think we are giving them a chance. And yet, what has already happened the minute you create an opinion, the minute you create a judgment, that energy, whatever energy it is, if favorable, so be it. If unfavorable, so be it. But whatever energy that you are experiencing inside is being received and transmitted, and then, therefore, at some point in time, also being reflected back at us. That's how the universe works. The universe works on vibration. And so, if we are transmitting vibrations of mistrust, that's the only thing that will come back to us again and again. It might not be with this person, the one in front of us. They might prove us wrong, and we'll be like, okay, now this was an exception. This was an aberration. All the others are like that. Why? Because we've already created a bucket, and from that bucket, we operate. As we become more and more aware of the energies, to understand that no matter what that other person is, what we are transmitting is where all of the creation in our universe is happening. Then we begin to notice what all judgments we are taking. So, as I say, we are going to take judgments every moment. It cannot be that we walk away from judgments. We haven't come to not judge. Even the saints, they haven't come to not judge, because judgment is not just, it's impossible not to judge when you are in the body. You are here to experience polarity. So, till the time you have a form on earth, a human form with a human brain, you are going to judge. However, what is it that I'm coming to? We all know. We want to judge in such a way that it makes us more towards limitless rather than towards the limited. Everything is a judgment. When you and I sit together and I tell you, keep chanting, I am awesome, I am awesome. I am Shiva, I'm the creator, I'm everything that is. When I tell you to chant that, what is it that I'm giving to you? I'm actually giving you a judgment. I am awesome is as much a judgment as I am stupid. So I am stupid is an adjective, but awesome is also an adjective. And the minute we use an adjective, we are judging. However, I am awesome is going to take you more towards peace of mind, more towards your fingers within. You're looking at yourself, you're giving yourself self-love, and therefore expanding your peace, expanding the frequency of peace. Why is it that we want to expand that place? Simple, whatever we are sitting in, wherever we put our focus on, that is what we get to experience more and more. When we sit in fear, we get to experience more and more fear. When we sit in dysfunctionalities, we get to experience more and more dysfunctionalities. Again, how beautifully the word that comes to me right now, dysfunctionality. Everything is just a functionality, but when I call it a dysfunctionality, it's a judgment. And so what that judgment is about is something, some piece, some part in your life that creates chaos around you. Chaos is a judgment, but something that creates chaos around you, your body doesn't want. Your body wants to float in peace. Well, if you want to float in peace, the first place to begin is by looking within and creating peace within. And so the more we begin to look within, I tell people the easiest way to flow in peace is to come into the frequency of gratitude. A very easy place to be when you are being grateful for something. That is what the universe will reflect and grow. That vibration will be yours, and more around you. That's the vibration that is going to come back at you. You sit in the frequency of gratitude, the universe will give you more to be grateful about. You sit in the frequency of fear, the universe will give you more to be fearful about. So simple it is, and yet we constantly look outside. Looking outside, it's a part of the job. We came to the earth to have experiences. These experiences of duality need that we forget that we have to look within. We forget that we are energy. We forget that we are the creator. We instead look outside and try to make judgments, try to create reforms outside, try to change the world. And the only thing that we need to change is actually ourselves. The minute we do that, our world already begins to change. Nothing new over here. I talk about it every single day, all the time. And yet, when somebody said to me that day, but we're always making judgments. And so that's okay. To make judgments, it's okay till the time you can pause and reflect upon it. Is that judgment coming from separation, or is that judgment coming from oneness? You don't even have to do anything. You just have to be an observer as to where your judgments are coming from. And judgments come every moment. It's not like, okay, today I will get judgments, for the next week, completely, entirely, forever. There is nothing called entirely forever. There is nothing called time, only the moment of now. So, in this moment, if you are sitting and judging something or someone outside, simply take a look within. Is that leading you to limitedness? Is it limitedness? Is it leading you to feel a little bit more triggered? Or is that judgment of yours putting the finger back at you and making you feel more quieter, more calmer? If you are feeling more quiet and more calm, the finger is on yourself. It doesn't matter what the outside world is creating, what they are being a part of. Your only job is to keep yourself happy. And therefore, your only job is to create happy judgments for yourself. I am awesome, the best judgment that you can take for yourself. Unconditional love flows from this non judgmental statement. Well, non judgmental, so paradoxical, right? But unconditional love flows from this place, this judgment that is more limitless than the judgment which is, I am stupid, I'm so inefficient, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. Then you are simply limiting yourself to the body that you are. You forget that you are Shiva. You created all of this story so that you could experience something through this. When you have children around you, children are a good piece for being actors to you, and you don't recognize because they look tiny, and you think that these are small people that you are responsible for, but they are simply actors as well. They have their own energy field, they have their own experiences, and yet they give you this immense feeling of holding responsibility for them. As you go through that responsibility, you will sometimes look at the children and say, oh, My children are so lazy. My children are this, my children are that. Or they must have gone on the father. I'm speaking from the mother's side. If you are the one thinking the children are lazy, the finger is outside. What will this do for you? What will this judgment of your children being lazy do for you? It will trigger you. It'll make you angry. It'll make you resentful. It'll bring you in this space of nobody cares for you. You are the only one who has to do the cleaning. You're the only one who has to do this. You're the one who's always suffering. And therefore, you are the one who's constantly at work while everybody else around you is so lazy. This is the finger outside. To carry forward this example, when the finger turns inwards, the only one question that we always ask, and that question, we all know it, what am I feeling? So, what's the question here? As this one is being lazy and that one is being lazy, what is it that I am feeling? What is it that I am experiencing? Okay, I'm experiencing rejection, anger, sadness, frustration, disappointment, blah, blah, blah. If these are the 5 or 6 frequencies that you are experiencing, now understand that before even you take the judgment, this one is lazy and this one is not. Even before you take the judgment, at least put the finger inwards. Why? Because it's not that their laziness has made you frustrated and disappointed. As a matter of fact, it is these frequencies of yours that are coming to play through their laziness. They have to play the role of being lazy so that you can experience all of these frequencies that you are holding within you. The disappointment, the rejection, the anger, the sadness. These frequencies that you are holding within you have come to be experienced when you make that outside judgment. That one is lazy. And so, what is it that we do? Do we stop making the judgment? Whatever you do on the outside, you can even go and beat them up. I don't care. I'm not the cop. So as you look outside, even before you look outside, what you have to do is to look within. Clear these energies of yours, because till the time these energies you are going to continue to hold, something or the other outside will keep showing, reflecting these energies right back at you. It is so simple, it plays out all the time. And yet, every single day, we sit in so many judgments. The other day, somebody was here with me and they said, oh, I'm such a super aggressive woman. What they have done is they've put themselves in a bucket. They've defined themselves as to what characteristics they hold. I'm a very super aggressive woman. I'm constantly beating people up. Well, I used to be in that place as well, as in I still beat people up, but I used to put myself into that bucket. I am this person. I behave this way. When I define myself so narrowly, I sit more and more deeper in that definition. I began to feel more so because I was this angry woman at work. I noticed that I used to get more and more angry and the work would get done, but I would get more and more angry so that the work would get done. And I was angry outside and I was angry inside. Anger worked very well for me. Anger was a good play for me. Anger didn't make me feel like it was ruining my life. I always thought that anger was the way to get work done. When people didn't listen to you, now you had to be angry, and suddenly everybody was listening and they were doing whatever project they had to do. They were finishing things on time. So I thought anger was really productive. I didn't know then that anger is simply a frequency, but the more angry I get on the outside and inside, the more I'm sitting in that energy, in that frequency. Very quickly, I was getting angry more and more. And then thankfully, this energy awakening happened. As the energy field got understood, I was able to release the anger frequency. Do I sit in anger now? Of course I do. As a matter of fact, most of you call me as the Danda Devi. So do I scream and shout? Of course I do. Then what's the difference? I'm an observer of my anger. So when I'm screaming and shouting at everybody, earlier, the same person that was me would be angry outside and angry inside. Now, when I'm screaming and shouting at somebody on the outside, I'm angry outside. I'm playing a role for them. But inside, I can actually feel the peace and calm. And so, what's happening? Even as I sit and I scream at somebody outside, but the peace and calm that I carry is also being transmitted to them. And so, no matter what the anger creates the danda for them to move forward. But the peace, calm, and the love that I emit is also being released, is also being received by whoever is the receiver of the danda as well. And so, the results are way more productive, way more powerful than they were when inside I was angry and outside I was angry. Now I'm angry outside, playing my role, being the actor. However, the anger is not within. The results are way more beautiful, way more productive. And that is why I tell you that whatever judgments you are taking, can you be the observer? When I take some judgment and I scream at you, that's the anger. But I'm only screaming at you for the moment, in the moment. I'm not screaming at you because I hate you. I've actually recognized that I have only one thing to do, and which is to look within and see whether I hate you or not. It's not important. Whether I hate me or not is what I have to look at. And if I hate my some aspects, then the time is here to release the hate. Normally, what would we do? Oh, I hate my inefficiency. Let me go out and become a little bit more efficient. Now, what do? Oh, I hate my inefficiency. Let me go out and release my hate. How beautiful it is. I don't have to do anything. And the inefficiency, my eyes towards the inefficiencies simply turn away from them. And then I'm sitting in more peace. A, a person who's looking outside will keep looking to change the scenario outside, will keep looking to change the world outside. But the only thing that you have to do is so simple, to look into your emotions and to release those emotions. As we again move forward towards the kind of judgments we make towards ourselves, if any of those judgments are not serving us, if we are doing self beating, those are the kind of judgments that are not serving us. If we are doing self beating, would you rather like the beating or would you like the praise? I am sure you will choose the word praise. If you do, and if you're wanting praise from outside, there is nobody outside. Everybody outside is a reflection of who you are. And so, firstly, your own judgments towards yourself have to be the kindest. They have to be the kindest, the most beautiful, the most loving. From that space, when you sit and look at yourself, you will find that the outside eyes looking at you are also going to shift. Even if they don't shift, if they are not shifting, then again take a look. Work still remains. Your love towards yourself is still not fully there. It's still sitting a little bit more on the inefficient side that, oh, I need to be this, I need to be that. Who do you need to be? You are already Shiva to begin with. You are the creator, the destroyer, and everything in the middle. So, what do you need to become? Absolutely nothing at all. You already are the highest of where you could be. You started from that place. You came over here to experience some other experiences, but that doesn't change the very grain of who you are. As we release our judgments towards ourselves, we will find that even outside, the eyes change. The eyes become a bit different. Why? Because we are not holding the same self judgments for ourselves. We find that we are able to let go of the outside more and more easily. Why? Because nothing exists outside. The mirrors outside will also begin to shift. They will show us our own kindness, the one that we are putting for ourselves. If we are not putting that kindness, the outside will show us that. Going back to the buckets that we put people in, as we put people into buckets and define them so narrowly, We will want to treat them only in a certain way, only to put in some energies. What if I was to tell you today, how we define people? This is their personality. They are extroverts and they are introverts. They are this way and they are that way. This one is lazy, this one is efficient. What if I was to tell you that nobody actually has any properties at all? They are simply a mix of frequencies, and whatever frequency is playing in that moment, they will be that frequency. It's fun that I tell you this, but I experienced it very recently in a really funny manner. Most of you know that I celebrated my birthday last month, and so many people gathered. And as people were, talking to me or something, and we were making some programs, we were making some plans. And I always tell people, no, Sudhanshu doesn't know how to dance. Sudhanshu, my husband, he doesn't know how to dance. He only has 2 or 3 steps. He doesn't know how to dance. I've been married to him for close to 20 years, and that's all that I've seen of him. He doesn't know how to dance. And yet, when we were there at the birthday, he was the star of the show. On every occasion, oh my God, in those 2 or 3 days, he was just simply brilliant. His dance moves were brilliant. He was brilliant. And I'm just looking at it, and everybody's like, you lied to us. This fellow dances so well. And I was laughing. I said, yeah, there's something really different about him today and yesterday, because he's never this person. He's never this person. And then suddenly I noticed, oh my God, no, it's just a new, he's just tuned into this frequency of masti. So he is this person. In this moment, in the now, he is this person. He is this person who's having so much fun and who has all the dance moves, because that's the frequency. Probably the frequency of good moves is what he had tuned into on that day. But he was that person. Was he that person the next day? Maybe not. But that's how we are. We are some frequency or another every single day. So, what point is it to define anybody at all? If you are looking for something to give you comfort, that, okay, I don't know how to deal with this person outside. I've never met him, or let's say, sometimes we have roles which are very, very difficult. I have to go to the judge, and the judge is going to be talking to me. Now I'm all nervous how to deal with the judge. Judges are strict, judges are this way. This judge, I've heard so many stories about. How to deal with him. Now you're looking totally outside and looking for a way to deal. Any kind of, any kind of authority that we go and we have to interact with. Now we are suddenly, sitting and wondering, oh my God, what is it that I need to do, because I have to deal with this person. So we form our own opinions about how that person is. And from that space, we go and deal with that outside person. This is when we are unaware. But when we become aware, it's so beautiful. Okay. Is it scaring you, this meeting with the law enforcement? Is it making you fearful? Great, then. All that you have to do is release your fears, to release your lack, to release your judgments, and then go for the meeting. Whatever is happening, the universe is playing in your favor. Now, this is the kind of judgment that you take for yourself when you are aware. After all, it's only a choice. The judgments, both of them, are yours. They're yours. You can choose to take this judgment, oh God, this is going to play out against me. This is bad for me. The whole universe is transpiring against me. Or the other judgment, the whole universe is playing in my favor. Both of them are your judgments. The choice can only come to us when we become aware. So the game is only that of awareness. If we are not aware, fingers, eyes outside, and then we have to figure out a way to deal with thousands of people. When we are aware, there is nobody outside. The only person we have to figure out how to deal with is your own self. And then that is so easy, because with your own self, I tell you, rather, I demand from you that be kindest to yourself. That's the only way you should be judging yourself, by being the most kind to yourself. And what will happen? The universe will obviously begin to be more and more kind towards you. Any questions for me at this point in time? Let's see. Oh, somebody says live YouTube, your voice is not working. Oops, a little bit too late. But it's okay. I think people could have joined in over here. Let me go take a look at the YouTube. I don't know what's wrong. It's okay. I checked. It's working. Thank you so much. All right. It might have not been working for a little bit, some kind of a internet, some kind of an internet glitch. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the love that you give, Vaishali. All right. So I think we are done with my 2 bits of gyan on the judgments. We'll never stop judging. So don't even look for, why am I still judging this person? Why do I have to look at this person and feel this way? The only point that we put across is when you are judging, very quickly, if you are already becoming more and more aware, the finger will automatically come towards you. If it is not coming to you that easily, then we have so many different tools. The easiest tool to put the finger back in is to put an alarm for yourself. Put an alarm for every 2 hours and sit and review. In the last 2 hours, was the finger outside or is the finger within? And then this becomes the way of life. To deal with everything and anything, this becomes the way of life. To judge yourself to be from an awesome place, and then to look at the outside world and constantly be in this awareness that the universe is playing in my favor. I am taken care of. This frequency of abundance is a choice in awareness. This abundance too, the lack and judgment, the lack and abundance, they are simply judgments too, because what you think of as lack, somebody who's maybe a beggar is probably thinking that you are sitting in abundance and you are thinking, oh my God, I don't have this and I don't have that, and I'm sitting in lack as well. And so it doesn't even matter what the outside, when you take an impression of somebody, when you are judging somebody, it matters to nobody but to you, because it's your judgment. It doesn't even matter to them. It doesn't give any, it doesn't have any effect on their life. It's simply your judgment, and it's going to keep triggering you. So releasing your judgment so that you can come to peace within is the only path of quick gratitude and coming to a peaceful place. Okay. All right. Any questions for me? If not, then we can.
Can I ask Ritu?
Yes, of course.
Okay. It's just when go out to buy something, very simple things, shoes, clothes, something for the house, and we look at the price tag. Oh, it's so expensive. So we say, oh, it's not good value for money.
Yeah.
So what is that? What is value for money?
Value. Firstly, what is money?
Of course.
Then what is value? Now we are like, going around in circles, right? Okay. So here it is. Yeah. Just, you go out and you see things which they will come in front of your face so that you can then evaluate, you can judge their value. Okay. And it's so beautiful that when you go out, and then you will actually not even be feeling the need to look at those things when you've released this judgment of value. Those things will still be there. You will go to the mall and you'll simply glide through. It happens to me. When I go to the mall, I look at the entire mall. There is nothing in the mall that I want to buy. There is nothing. Do things have value? Do I wear nice things? Do I get nice things? Absolutely. Everything happens. And yet, I'm not out there judging the value of anything. And so beautifully, whatever has value, the other somebody, value for money, the other day, something is value for money and something is not, that's your judgment. For somebody, just that name brand itself is the value for money. And that's them, that's their judgment. The thing is the same, the product is the same, somebody is buying it, right? So for them, it's the value for money. For you, it's not. You are judging and they are judging. What is it that you have to look at? You simply have to look at your within, saying, okay, I don't have this kind of money to spend on this. If this is the thought, you are sitting in lack. oh, this thing isn't value for money. Now you have to look at value. Where all have you assigned value to yourself? Why should you be valuable? And what exactly is valuable? So it is so fun, right? I've repeated this many a times that I gave away everything that is so-called valuable. I gave away all my jewelry, I gave away the bank account money, whatever comes in, and it doesn't stop. It keeps coming in. But I whenever I'm told in guidance, give this away, give that away. How am I able to give so easily? Because I assign no value to it. I assign no value to anything outside of me. The only thing valuable for me, the only thing valuable for me is these emotions, the ability to observe, the ability to change my energy. When you are looking at something and saying, I can't buy this, what is it that you are feeling? That's the value. That's where the value exists. That's the experience that you are receiving from looking at that thing. That's the experience you're receiving. So what is that experience made of? Is that experience made of lack? Is that experience made of, oh, somebody is trying to cheat us by putting something, oh, this is outside in this other place for $5, and over here they've put the same thing for $500. They're trying to cheat us. The value in all of this is the emotion that is being created as you look at something outside. So if the emotion is of mistrust, that's the value of that transaction. The transaction has already happened, whether you buy that t-shirt or that shoe or not. The transaction has already happened. You've already bartered some of your trust for some mistrust. You've already bartered some of your joy for lack, saying, I can't buy this. The transaction happens every minute. So constantly look within to see what is happening, where all are you putting value on yourself, and also what are the emotions you are creating when you go out and find things that you can't buy or you find them too expensive. Because it's been like this for me, and I laugh because when somebody looks at my jewelry and asks me, oh, is this real? And I say, yeah, of course it's real. It's real brass, it's real steel, of course it's real. Why is it not real? For me, it's as real as anything else. If you say, no, but there's a different value to gold, and therefore gold is more valuable because gold is at whatever pricing it is at. And I say, okay, let's climb a mountain. I'll carry with me some plastic bottles. You carry with you some water bottles made of gold. Then we will see who finds more value in what. The value is right here. And so break it. Are you able to understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Because the whole beautiful part of all of this is that outside, there will always be price tags, and that's an outside value. But inside, if they are triggering us, then that's the only work they have come to create for us. Those kinds of shops will keep attracting us because we haven't worked on the trigger. Once you've worked on the trigger, you'll be looking at those shops. If you feel like going in, you will go in. If you feel like just, hanging around there and having a good time, you will. But it will no longer trigger you that, oh, I can't buy this and I can't buy that, or this one is, so not worth it. Then again, worth is to be looked into. Worth is so much a judgment, and it's moment to moment. So how worthless and worthful are you? You're both. What are you not? You are this and you are that. In moments when you are being completely lazy, you don't feel like doing anything during the entire day, completely worthless. And that's great. And then on days when you are so productive, you've got 40 things going, and you're running from one to the other, and you're so efficient, very worthful. And so what? Each of the days, you are a different frequency. And so we don't judge ourselves for the frequencies that we are tuning into. And that's why even the positivity process, it talks about take a look at the frequency from a distance. You are not the frequency. You are not sad. You are simply the Shiva experiencing the sadness. So as we begin to understand, we are way larger. We can't define ourselves. We need not put ourselves into any buckets. We are whatever frequency we are on any given day. But if you are able to observe the frequency that you are on any day, then you can shift it. If you're not able to, put a finger on the frequency you are on any given day, then you will simply enjoy that frequency more. When I say enjoy, that frequency could even be sadness. You'll enjoy sadness a little bit more before shifting out whenever the frequency changes on its own. It might change tomorrow, it might change after a month, it doesn't matter. But when we become aware, this is the beautiful tool that we receive, that now we can change the frequency through our conscious awareness. Okay, everyone. So let's begin the meditation. Okay, take a deep breath in and release. And as you take the deep breath in, take the energy from Meenal, this energy of joy that is going through you, this energy. Simply breathe in and exhale. Emptying yourself in this moment. Just emptying yourself in this moment. Exhale. And as you exhale, complete blank you are in the now. No thoughts, no emotions, just complete blankness for just a moment. This frequency of blankness is yours to enjoy for this moment. And the next, simply ask for the universe to give to you a word or maybe a phrase that you often use to define yourself. It's something that you use to define yourself. Sit in that frequency, sit in that judgment for a moment. You are that. You are that. That which defines you the way that you define yourself. You are that. And now with the next breath, imagine as if you're holding that pot up and simply emptying it out. Emptying it out. Whatever adjective you used to define yourself, you're emptying your pot out from that. You are no longer that. You are simply in the blankness again. That limited place of that definition you have just released. You are no longer just that. And now, bringing to your mind the opposite of that word. The opposite of that word, whatever that might be, the word, a phrase, whatever that might be, and you pour that within you. You are this too. Whatever that word is, whatever that characteristic is, you are this. Sit and look at it. Observe yourself. If the first word that came was beautiful, let us say you thought of yourself and you said, I am beautiful. Then right now, sit with the word ugly. I am ugly too. And so in this moment, simply taking in this word ugly and sitting with it, just sitting with it and observing yourself being ugly. If you described yourself as lazy or as angry, then in this moment, now the opposite, so productive or so peaceful. Working with both of these in the moment right now, you are sitting with the opposite of how you described yourself. Experience this word within you. Let it run through your mind. Maybe there have been places where you have felt ugly, where you have felt calm, where you have felt productive. So, whatever comes to your mind right now, watch it, observe it, be in that space of observation. Simply observing yourself as being this in the now. And once you're done observing, pick up the pot and now emptying yourself out of this too. So you experienced yourself as something and the opposite of that. And now your pot is again empty. In this moment, in this emptiness, you hold nothing. And yet, in this empty moment, you hold everything. You are nothing and everything too. In every moment, you are everything and the exact opposite of that too. And so one experience doesn't define you. You are the sum of all your experiences. And that's who you are. In this moment, as you are experiencing the Meenal frequencies, you are Meenal too. So you are you, but in this moment, you are Meenal too. And so experiencing everything and nothing, being everyone and no one. In this moment, you are that. The next time something like this happens, when you catch your judgment for somebody else, simply allow yourself to feel both ends. You are this and you are that person too. You haven't looked at yourself in that way, but you are this and you are that too. Allow yourself to come into this oneness. When you look at somebody in separation, it will trigger you. But then when you look at somebody in oneness, you can take as many judgments as you wish, but those judgments will no longer trigger you. They are as much them as they are you. Be in this aware moment, be in this thought, be in this knowledge, and it will become knowing. Oh, money, oh, money, oh, money. Okay, everyone, lots and lots of love. See you guys.